What's good, world? It's your boy King Phenom here, and we are back once again with some more of that
King shit.
that you know and love so well. We got my homie King Sirius Lee in the building.
What up?
Blank Man unfortunately couldn't join us today, but in his place, like we got Mr. Can't Stop, Won't Stop himself, Mr. TheDrededLeo.
What it is, what it do, what it
Like
be
Dread
like.
Gang.
Your boy.
Man, it's a lot of reviews. A lot of reviews.
We got it. We have enough. We have a full docket to get through.
Full disclaimer. There's one topic I'm all in on, and the rest I'm probably gonna be asking questions on. But I can't wait to ask those questions because I want
You
to see what
already
y'all
know
gotta
which
say.
one he gonna be all in on. It was the same one you was all in on last week.
Y'all already know.
Hey, and that's fine by me because I saw it, but I didn't fully see it. So I'm just like, whatever you can teach me when I go back and watch it again, I was like, oh, that's what Dre was talking about. But first things first, we're gonna this is more of a review in totality, not just I guess one specific movie, but I guess technically of a series of movies. Last month, The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It, came out on HBO Max. It's going to be leaving HBO Max, I believe, July 3rd or July 4th. So if you haven't watched it yet and you like good horror movies, go ahead and check that out. But that just brought up the larger discussion of the Conjuring universe in itself, or more so, I guess, the trilogy of The Conjuring, and just what we think about it, how it's been executed, and you know, what makes it work so well. Because I will admit, off the jump, I literally just finished watching the third movie less than 2 hours ago, and while I don't think it's as good as the first two, I still think it's a very good movie that shits on a lot of other movies that are out right now.
This is true.
Yeah, I back that up because when I watched it, I thoroughly, and well, I can't say thoroughly because there was some things that I was expecting that might have been a little lacking, but I really enjoyed the way the movie played out.
Yeah, I can't really think of a better horror trilogy right now off the top of my head.
Oh yeah, trilogy. Oh shit, I guess you got a point.
A better horror trilogy? No, yeah.
Wait.
I think you.
No. Because I was going to say there was a new Saw that came out, but was it? I didn't watch it yet.
Yeah, by the I think after the second Saw, I kind of
does that even count as a trilogy anymore?
I mean, it's a franchise, but by the time Saw 3 came out, I didn't even fully pay attention to what the story was. I was just
you didn't really care for it anymore.
What are the kills?
because you're there for the traps and stuff, so you don't really care. Like there is a bunch of
ingenuity of
it.
By the time Scream got to the third movie, they were just like, "Hey, darts against the walls?" Like that's all it was. That's all it was. I'm trying to think. Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. Halloween was trash after because I think the third one didn't even have Michael Myers in it, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, we're talking about trilogies altogether.
Yeah, I'm just talking about like horror movies that horror franchises that have 3 or more movies in their belt. How normally the first 3, or even just 3 in some type of succession. It doesn't have to be 1 through 3.
Right.
2 through 4, or something like that. They don't really do that well. And The Conjuring, all 3 of those movies.
No, I guess not.
They're very good. They're very good movies.
They are.
Yeah,
and
put together too.
What does it? I know personally, what does it for me is, they stick with the same characters throughout. They make you care for these characters. Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. Is that how you say her name? Farmiga.
I think that's how you say it. I can never say her name right.
Anyway,
don't ask me. I'm not the one.
they play the Warrens, and at least in the 3 Conjuring movies, that's where the movies are centered around their investigations into those paranormal events, and the movies do a good job at making you care for the Warrens and what they're going through and things like that, especially since it's supposed to be based off of a true story.
Yeah, based off their life work.
Yeah. And it's hilarious because like my girlfriend does not like me to say that. We'll watch it and I'll say, hey babe, it's based off a true story. No, don't say that. No, but it's real. Like it's based off of like this really happened. No, it didn't happen. Like she's like she'll watch it, but she doesn't want it to be real, any form of it. Like she's like
that concept will not compute,
right?
And I don't want it to.
It's like, don't tell me that there's a possibility this could be true. I don't care.
Right.
I already got enough problems when I hear random noises as it is. Don't tell me shit like that could happen.
Yeah, my lady don't go for that either. She's like, how can you even watch those movies? I was like, cuz I don't believe in the shit. Like, you don't get nightmares or nothing like that. I was like, you only get nightmares if you believe the shit.
Well, see,
you know what?
Funny story, because I somewhat believe. Not to the extreme of what these movies were telling, but like spirits and shit. Like, yeah, why not? Like,
funniest thing.
I'm sure.
I believe in spiritual intervention, just in many different forms and fashion.
Funniest thing, sci-fi and horror are like my favorite genres. I don't believe in any of it.
You don't believe in none of it.
I don't believe in none of it.
Not near nada, huh?
I've watched 15 seasons of Supernatural. I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer and like Angel.
Those
I don't believe
it. Made a joke and a mockery of every.
I watched X-Files. I watched all the little I watched
all the
little sci-fi shows on the Sci-Fi Network. I don't believe in any of that shit.
I believe to an extent because like I haven't experienced, like I haven't seen like stuff move by itself or anything like that, but no, I think I've seen like a spirit or two. Like you see, like it's kind of like more than just like out the corner of your eye kind of thing. It's just like it's interesting because like when I think that I see something, I don't question it because I can describe what it is that I thought I saw. And I'm like, no, I can describe that. So I saw something, whether it was in my peripheral, whether I was like doing a quick, like once over, like I saw something and I can describe exactly what it looked like. So I don't know. Like I've got a couple stories where that happened and it's just like, no, it has to be something. It has to be something. So
I have no problem being proven wrong, but yeah, maybe that's why it doesn't get to me as much because I'm just like,
I'm no Ghostbuster, but yeah, like, I'm just saying, like,
I said, I don't believe in it, but I have no problem. Like, if you brought me like definitive proof, if I saw the proof myself, I wouldn't be like, oh man, I can explain that with science real quick. Hold on, I was like, nope, there's a vampire right there. No, you're a demon. Like,
that's something. That's something.
You don't have to explain shit to me. Like, I see your powers. Like, don't explain it.
Yeah, there's been times when shit's happened around me and I had to look back to it like, that's explainable. And then I kept thinking about it like,
couldn't explain
it, huh? No, it's not. I can't explain that. Like, how did this actually fall when no one was in that room? I don't got no windows open.
The house was shifting. How, like the dirt. The house shifted. There you go, right there.
Right? A slight breeze, something was hanging off of the edge. You didn't see
there
it.
There are houses by me right now that are literally they've had to like move people out of them because the ground underneath the house is shifting, and eventually the house is gonna fall.
Jesus Christ!
But
are you next to a sinkhole?
No, it's just they built it on. They did some shitty surveys on some houses on some newer houses in our area, and the dirt is shifting, and the houses will eventually fall.
Damn.
I mean, they're not like they're close, but they're not like close. It ain't like if that shit fall is going. It ain't like unfortunately like what happened in Florida where like that shit fall. It's just all around. It's like nah.
Okay. But go ahead, Drake. What were you saying?
I was gonna say I believe, but I was talking about sleep paralysis not so long ago because of a review we was going to bring up later on Evil. And in a particular apartment of mine, a whole bunch of unexplained stuff happened, and 2 cases of sleep paralysis happened in this one apartment. Now, I thought it was just a weird mental thing until I started thinking about it and be like, way too many coincidences happened in that apartment complex. And when I say coincidences, I have a full story, which is one of the wildest coincidences I've lived through, where I had a full blown nightmare Now that somebody broke into my apartment, came through the front door, broke into my apartment, tried to kill me. I could see his figure and everything, right? Big burly, like white man, scruff, butcher knife, fought him from the front to the house to the back of the house. Ended up waking up. Come to find out that night my door was unlocked, right? So I'm just sitting here like, oh snap, my brain was sending me all the signals. But the next day I had to go and talk to the maintenance people. And when I talked to them, they was like, yeah, something weird happened. We don't have your apartment key. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't have my apartment key? I don't know. For some reason, it's just missing. What? And so the craziest thing is they never found it. They never found the key, and they kept asking me for a duplicate. And they was like, so they could do maintenance on the building. But prior than that, I had a sleep paralysis episode that was a little specific as well, describing the being from the next dream that broke into my house. And that's what it was wild. It was wild. And I'm starting to think back to it, and I'm like, that was too strange and specific.
So was niggas not trying to change your locks? Like,
that's what I was about to say. I was like, you tell me that you tell me you don't have a copy of my key, like, and you're supposed to, then I'm not giving you a copy. You're changing my goddamn locks.
Right.
That's not an option.
Like, we're not even questioning anything at this point. Like, you need to be on this, like, within the hour. Like,
they did, but we got out of there.
Well, that's good. I had it. I mean, you know, the reason why I think, you know, like, spooky stuff is, you know, is around or whatever. I don't know if I told you all the story before. Same idea, sleep paralysis, things like that.
Mm-hmm. And later I'm going deeper into my sleep paralysis episode. Just once that topic pops up again. I would
in my room, I would be asleep, and it was a thing with my closet. In my mind, I always knew like there's something in my closet. Like, not even like no little kid, like, hey, it's dark. No, like, there's like a demon or something in my closet. Because every time I would go to sleep with the closet door open, I would have experienced that sleep paralysis. And I would have like these like crazy ass nightmares, right? And then when I would finally like shake loose and wake up, my closet door is open. So after a while, I started peeping like, let me close this fucking door. So when I would close the door, I would sleep like a baby. Nothing's wrong at all. But let me accidentally leave that door open and fall asleep, sleep paralysis, and I'm having nightmares. So after a while, I just, you know, two and two together. It didn't matter if the door was cracked. It didn't matter if it was all the way open. If that door was open at any point in time, that would happen. So I would just always, before I go to bed, close the door, close the closet door, close the closet door. So it wasn't until like recently, because it's funny, because I say, I tell people, yeah, there's a demon in my closet, and they're like, what? Yeah, just don't pay attention to it. Let it do its thing. If you give it power, then it's going to be like, oh, you see me, and now we got shit to deal with. Just let him. This is true. Let him do whatever he needs to do. Everybody goes about their business. Like, it's cool. My girlfriend comes over. We were cleaning up and stuff like that. She says, hey, I brought you some sage. I said, oh shit. I'm a shape. Yo, I'm gonna do this to the closet. I'm gonna sage the closet.
The entire closet.
He got the smudge stick.
Smudge stick, bro. So we light it, go around the room, go in the closet, basement, all that stuff, right? Ever since that day, I lie to you not, I can sleep with that closet door open, no problem. My closet door doesn't close.
That portal to hell.
Bro, but interesting thing. My nephew, you all know my nephew's little baby. All right. He is telling his mom that now he sees stuff around the house. So there's his mom has a closet. It's like two closets in their room. So she has one for him, one for her. He will go to his closet. He will not go near his mother's closet. And she says he'll point at the closet and he'll say ghost. And I was like, who the hell taught him to say ghost? He's a baby. So it was like, I don't know, somebody taught him to say it, but like he won't walk towards it or nothing like that. So I told her, I said, oh, I probably chased that demon out my closet upstairs to your room.
He was like, "Oh, I'm not welcome here. Fine, then I go upstairs."
I kind of felt bad.
He said,
like,
I cleansed the basement.
All right, you know what? You didn't compel me. I got to tell the story now.
You've been compelled.
All right, so if anybody knows me, they know I have a terrible, absolutely terrible memory. And when it comes to explaining things from memory in fine detail, I cannot. But the sleep paralysis episode, I will never forget it because it shook my soul. So I gotta paint a picture of where we lived. It was the same apartment in Virginia. It's an old building too. It was built in like the 19 like it might have been the 1800s, maybe 18s or late 19s. And I used to joke afterwards and say it was built on an Indian burial ground.
Which now that you think about it, it probably was.
It could have.
Or a lot of brothers was just lynched.
Maybe.
That's
So
true.
I have a king size bed and it was facing the door. Now from the room, the closet was to the left. There was an indent in. There's the door. Outside of that door, the bathroom, and then the front doors to the right. Now, I was sitting up. Now, normally I have sleeping issues too. So I was sitting up and I was just thinking. My girlfriend was sitting, and anybody knows the Black Nexus, or I'll refer to her as Special K. She was laying next to me. She went to sleep. She goes to sleep easily. And I was talking, but I thought I was still talking. And I was like, oh, she fell asleep on me. So I was just sitting there. As I was sitting there, I seen a little kid. It was a brown skinned boy. I'll say maybe a little bit darker than Sirius. Brown skinned boy, short haircut, had a little bit of hair on top, but it was mostly short. He crawls into the bathroom. And I'm sitting here like, nah, that wasn't what I just saw. But he slowly crawls from the bathroom through that little indent. And he cuts over and stops at the front of my bed. And I was trying to move and I was like, hey, Special K, wake up. Wake up. Like, wake up. There's a kid in our house. Wake up. But I couldn't. And so he pops his head up from below the bed and stares me in my face. But he's like shaking. He's actually shaking, like he's like this, staring me in my face. And so he ducks again. And I look over and I'm like, why won't you see this, right? Like, why won't you do anything? Help me. And so
just like
then he pops
in the
back
Conjuring.
up.
Help me. Nigga, help me.
So I'm sitting there and the kid crawls on the bed. And mind you, I didn't know what sleep paralysis was before that. Didn't have no clue. He crawls on the bed and I feel my body getting heavy and heavy and heavy. And he gets to my face and he was screaming at the top of his voice, help me. Like he was shrieking at me, help, help, help. And when I woke up, like eventually it snapped me out of my sleep. And when I woke up, I had a whole pool of sweat next to me. Like my body, like I was dehydrated because I sweated so much. And then I went, checked everything in the house. And I woke Special K up like, you did not experience that or see that or nothing. She was like, no. And he was screaming, help me. There's a guy trying to kill me. Help me. That's what he was screaming. There's a guy. And then 2 nights later, that other dream I told you about earlier happened.
Oh, damn.
And the first place he chased me to was in the bathroom.
Were you the child that was, were you
warning yourself?
Were you warning yourself? You were asking yourself for help because you was getting chased.
It was a premonition.
Oh shit!
Look at his face.
Oh shit! Nah, don't get spooked out now, fam.
He over here like, what was that just happen? Like, my man.
Oh man!
You was trying to tell yourself something.
That your landlord should change them fucking locks. That's what you're trying to warn yourself.
Shit, maybe, but it's wild because I never forget. Like I told myself I never forget that, and I normally forget a lot of shit. I say I never forget, but I know for sure I'll never forget that.
Man, Phenom, he was warning himself days in advance. Ain't even know it. Right, you are today years old when you realize you were trying to.
You know who else be warning themselves a lot though? That old Lorraine Warren, like her little psychic self.
Bro,
oh,
she is so cool, but so dangerous. She's so cool and so reckless at the same time. And I be like, at first, that's why I say the Conjuring movies. To get back to the movies, The Conjuring.
You see what I did there, right?
Yeah, I saw what you did. Good job. That's why I said I appreciate how, yes, those are horror movies and they're meant to scare you, they're meant to entertain you, but they do a really good job at sticking with the characters and letting you know how much these characters care about one another. And that's what helps tie the movie along, because the wife has a gift of like seeing to that other side, and like her powers are just like, she's damn near an X-Man at that point. Like,
yeah. No, you're right.
But the cool thing about those character developments is you see the husband's concern for how and when she uses that ability. And he's like, all right, you can do it, but don't go too far in there that I can't get you back.
Yeah, like in the third one, when he told that to the cop, he was like, hey, yo, nah, don't let her do this. This is like, just
he was like, don't trust that she could do it. Nah, it's the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with what you say. The chemistry between Patrick Wilson and Vera, I can never say that last name right. It's very, very strong. And the one thing I'll say about the third movie compared to the first two is I feel like the chemistry between most of the actors is very strong. Yeah. In the third one, I didn't really care so much for anyone else.
Who wasn't the main character.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah, so like so basically in almost every Conjuring movie, someone's possessed. And in the first two, I felt for those people that were possessed. I was like, oh man, it's like, it's like you got to help them so they can save their family and this and this. In the third one, it was this grown man who he was possessed because he was cursed because he told a demon to leave a child alone and use him as a vessel. And I was just like, to be honest, I don't care. Like anything that, like, it got to the point where even when you're watching the movie, sometimes it seems like the movie stopped caring as much. It seemed like every once in a while the movie's just like, oh yeah, let's cut to him about to do something to himself, just to kind of remind you guys that, hey, this is what started everything.
Yeah, I get you, because I felt that I didn't care that much about his character either, but instead I cared more about, there was a situation that the Warrens were going through.
Yeah, I cared more about
and
that. I
cared more about that than this actual, demonic possession thing that was, what the movie's about.
And I think that may also be to the fact that this movie, it's not like the first two Conjuring, because the first two Conjuring is more so about demonic possession and things like that, in which they're fighting demons or ghosts or something like that. Like, spoiler alert, and this one, they're fighting a person, partially, and I feel like that kind of I hate to say it, I feel like at this point in the game, was like, it's just a person. It's like I seen you do some shit against like just straight demons that have like that aren't like bound to anything, and now I'm supposed to be scared because a person like has a demon bound to him or something like that. Shit wasn't scary.
I'll say something after you.
So the funny thing was, in watching these Conjuring movies, I watched the third one first. Like that was, because it was out, it was on HBO Max, and I was like, hey, let's, it's new, let's watch it. But I've never seen the other two. So in watching that one, I can honestly say, because I don't usually watch horror movies. So as a matter of fact, me starting to watch the Conjuring movies, I was like, all right, let me see what these other movies I've missed. So I started watching Insidious, and like I'm looking at horror movies now. And I watched the third one first, and I can legit say I was a little scared. I was a little scared. Because like I'm watching it, it's like late at night, like me and my girl are watching it or whatever, and then she's like teasing me. She's like, "You sure you want to watch this now? Because it's late, and then after this, we're going to bed. So I don't want you having like nightmares and stuff." Girl, get the fuck out of here! Turn this movie on. Come on, man, let's go. So we're like out in the front room and we're watching it and whatnot. And then she's like, "I'm tired. Let's go. Let's go to the bedroom and watch it in there." And I was like, "All right, cool." So then we go in there. And we're watching it. So now, because we're laying in the bed, I'm getting tired because I'm laying down. So I didn't get to finish the movie, but I got as far before they revealed the actual possession, like what was behind the possession, pretty much the person.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm still thinking it's like demonic shit like happening, right? So I fall asleep. I go to sleep. And had the most fucked up nightmare. Like, and no, I'm like, I can feel myself kind of like shaking, like moving, because I'm kicking shit in my sleep. So I'm like shaking and moving and stuff. And then I finally wake up and like the TV's off. And my girl loves to sleep in pitch black. Like when I sleep with the TV on. Like
my TV's normally on.
Yo, she sleeps in pitch black. So I wake up. And I open my eyes and I don't realize my eyes are open because all I see is just pitch black until my eyes adjust. And then I'm sitting up at the edge of the bed and she feels me sit up and she's like, "You okay?" And I'm like, I'm trying to play it off. Yeah, I'm cool. I just gotta go to the bathroom. Pool of sweat coming down like, oh.
Nothing to see here. I'm good.
I look out into the doorway and it's just the rest of the house pitch black. So I'm like,
hit that quick step, huh?
Look here, demon. I gotta take a piss. So if you're gonna get me, you just gotta get me. And I go to the bathroom. But so I was legit scared. But when I watched the rest of the movie and found out that it was a person, I immediately got let down for the rest of the movie. I was like, I can't believe I was as scared as I was. And it's not even like thing. Like this is like a Scooby-Doo red herring. Like
Go ahead, I think they had made way too many plot points too, because normally in a Conjuring movie they stay grounded to a location. Normally in a Conjuring movie they don't have that much flowing, so like they have a theme of like long camera shots or all of that changed in the third one, and it ended up being more creepy than scary.
Yeah,
because of how many plot points they had.
Yeah, because they basically were doing like 2-3 investigations like at the same time. They're like, all right, who did this to this guy? It's like, oh wait, someone else had something similar happen. What happened because of that? It's like, oh, okay, now we know that it's a person. Now we got to figure out who that person is or where they're located and stuff like that. I was like, let's
go talk to this person over here. Let's go talk to this person over here. Let's go visit the possessed guy over here. Let's go back to the house. Let's go back to our house.
Yeah, like I just remember just like how in the second one, that Jane was a straight demon. Like old girl had an entire vision of how her husband was supposed to die. And like once some shit went down, she was like, "Oh no, not today."
Not today, Satan.
that was cool. That's what I'm saying. That was one of the things that again really kept that movie like as grounded. Like you got all this spiritual demonic stuff happening and stuff like that, but you have the Warrens trying to like stick together, keep their marriage tight, their love and stuff like that. I was like, all right, that's dope. It wasn't cheesy. It was like they were like an older like married couple, and like, hey, this is our job. This is what we do, and it was like that, and it was cool. And I think the reason for the third movie being so, because it's a lot different from the previous two. It's a different director. It's a different director. Michael Chaves did the third one. Let me see.
Did Justin Lin do the first two?
Who did the first ones?
Because I know it's his idea.
Watching it cinematically, you could see that it was a completely different person.
James Wan.
James Wan. That's what I meant to say.
He did the first two, and then if I'm correct as well, he also did the Insidious movies.
The Insidious movies are in the universe, so
let's see. He directed Saw, Dead Silence. Yep, Insidious Chapter 2, Furious 7, The Nun. No, he didn't do The Nun. He did the story for The Nun. Aquaman.
Oh, he winning.
Yeah,
that's a lot of good movies under his belt.
Yeah, he big winning.
Yeah, and he's done the story for the Annabelle movies.
James Wan took Patrick Wilson and he said, I'm gonna make you some money. I'm gonna make you some money.
Conjuring, Insidious, Aquaman. He's like, hey, you. It's like when
you're my guy. You're my guy, and I'm gonna make you a star.
Call in the big shots, James Wan. Where you at, bro? I need you.
Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, so where would you guys rank? Like, if you had to rank the Conjuring movies, what would you rank?
Now, when you say rank it,
or are we just doing regular numbers?
No, I mean just like Conjuring
on a horror scale, or
you mean what order we rank it in?
Yeah. What order?
I think Conjuring 2 would be the one that does it for me.
Yeah.
I think the Conjuring 2.
Yeah, I would say 2, 1,
then
and
1, then 3. Yeah.
You know what? I would say it's original 1, 2, and 3. Like I really liked the first one.
I liked the first one, but the first one had more of an Amityville feeling, and I was like, well, I've seen that kind of before, so I've kind of, I don't know. It was something nice about the second one. How even though it was familiar, they took it to another country. The second one happened in England, so now it's just like you got all these so now it's just like, oh, like we're here as these paranormal experts in a whole different country with these for different nation of people looking at us like we're crazy, trying to figure out what's going on. I just appreciated the change of the atmosphere a little bit more.
The change of scenery. No, I mean because the second one, like, to me, it's like 1A and 1B. Like, it's not really like it's not really like the two.
That shit was tough, dog.
And I feel like that's kind of the only thing that kind of takes me out of it is when she was possessed, like at the end scene and stuff like that, and like she was breaking windows, and it got real theatrical for me.
Yeah.
And the first one was more like, oh shit, like this, like it was kind of like along the lines of like found footage.
It wasn't like heaven and type deal. It wasn't like heaven and hell was opening up like it was in the second one.
Exactly, yeah. So that's why I kind of appreciated the first one a lot more for, I mean, dare I say the more realism aspect of it,
being more toned down.
Yeah, but it was still like scary as shit, man. Like but I did like to say I like the second one a lot. So that's how I say, like, if I had to, it'd be like 1A and 1B, and then it would be like the Conjuring.
I'll definitely still say this is probably one of the best horror trilogies I've ever seen.
Yeah, definitely. Sure. And when it comes to go ahead, Phenom.
Oh no, I was gonna say there's out of the 3 movies, I wouldn't give any one of them lower than an 8. They were all very good to me. Like I say, even the third one, even though I could see some certain things coming, especially that one twist with John Noble's character, that so-called retired priest, I saw that shit coming from my like. Once you figured out who the bad guy was,
that's why you get an actor like that. Like it's like he's not going to be a one-off on the screen.
Yeah, like nigga, I know who you are. I saw 5 seasons of Fringe. Like I'm not. This isn't surprising.
No, I would agree with that. Like, well, I would say if I would give the first one a 10. I would give the second one a 9, and then I would give the third one an 8. Yeah, but the first one was like 10 for me. Like I really liked that.
Yeah, I would probably put the first two somewhere between a 9.5 and a 10. Like I said,
Mhm.
I might go back and watch the first one. Like, you know what? Sirius was right. It was something nice about the fact that it didn't go over the top with it. But then when you see the second one, you're just kind of like, well, you kind of want to go a little bit more over the top because the
It
first
is a
one was
sequel.
so good.
Right. And that's kind of what I liked about it. They took certain concepts and developed on it. Like and also I do cinematography, or I learned cinematography in school, and some of the camera tricks that they used and some of the lighting techniques that they used, because they was in such of a small, dull area, they had to get real creative with the lighting and how they did the jump scares, and the sound effects was a lot more drastic versus in the first one, it was just low, creepy tones that slowly build up to make you feel that it. With the second one, it was back and forth. It was back and
The
forth.
cinematography expert over here.
The lighting is. I love noir films, and I think that adds a beautiful aspect to horror because noir is shot to be suspenseful, heavy on the shadows, and with horror movies, shadows are your best friend. Like when you're watching a horror movie, you always got to look into the darkest shadows and be like, "Is that something?"
And that's why
they use that for their advantage.
That's why I like The Conjuring so much because, when just how you said it, the shadows are your friend. They would have that camera staring at a shadow, and you're like, nah, ain't shit there. And then something to jump out the fucking, like something to run at you. It uses the shadow.
It uses your imagination against you.
Yeah,
that's one thing I do appreciate. Like, it wasn't just like jump scares for jump scares. It built up the suspense and then had you like, there were times when I saw the first two where I was like expecting, I was like, all right, jump scare in 3, 2, 1. But like Sirius said, sometimes they would just stay on one scene or one shadow a little bit longer than normal, and then that jump scare will happen. Or sometimes they'll just stay on a shadow for too long and then nothing will happen. And it'll just like kind of set that expectation. Oh, that's how they're gonna do the shit. And then when the jump scare does happen, you're like, bravo, motherfucker. Bravo.
Yeah, like it'll be one of those things like they'll open up a closet and they're expecting to see somebody. It's like, oh, like it's nothing. So they'll bring up that suspenseful music and they'll pull you in slow. And it's like as soon as they open that closet, it something might be there, it might not be there, but it's suspenseful as fuck. And then they open the closet and it's nothing. And then they look up. And then like the jump sitting on top of the closet or some shit like that. Like like they just did it well, man. They just did that shit like it was great.
Yeah, they took the horror movie tropes and they made it work for them because one of the things with horror movies, the sound design is your best friend too. Like with horror movies, you can't make a horror movie without proper sound because low sounds, once things get quiet, when you're watching a horror movie and there's like light music playing and that light music fades, you're sitting there like something's about to happen. Something's about to happen. Something's about to happen. And then it's like, okay, nothing. Like it makes you tell yourself a story before it happens, and the lead ups and the build downs, they did it perfectly.
Yeah.
Now 3, on the other hand, they didn't give any rewards for their lead ups. Like once you was feeling like it, and then it was like, oh. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, like a couple of their jump scares in the third one, they weren't really all that jumps. It's just like, all right, you're here, but you weren't really all that. Like when old boy was in the was like
the kid going from the kitchen.
Well, I was talking about when he was like mopping the the floor and the bucket.
Yeah.
I was like, that wasn't really nothing. And then the other dude that was inside the room with him, I was like, this ain't really all. Like,
it's
the
like
best,
okay,
like the best jump scare for me might have been when the little nigga came out the bathroom and just straight shanked his dad.
Man,
off jump. Like it started on fire. The movie started on fire. I was like, yo, if this is where the movie is going, I'm all in. And then it was like, all right, I'm chilling. All right, I'm chilling.
These are some
am I still chilling?
Yeah. I mean, as you people know, like, because you're all movie buffs or movie fans yourself, I love going to the movie theater. I miss not being able to go to the movie theater in a while. I've never seen a Conjuring movie in theater, and like, to be honest, I regret not seeing at least one of those in theater. Like,
I would have loved to see the first two in theaters.
Like, if for nothing else,
it was great.
Just the audio aspect of it, like those great speaker system and whatnot, that would probably scare the fuck out of me, and I'd be like, this is so great, I love it. So I hear they might be doing a Conjuring 4, and if they do, I would probably try my best to get to a theater this time to see it.
You gotta bring back. As long as it's got the Warrens in it, man. I'm watching it.
I'm there too. Shoot.
I mean, outside of the Conjuring movies inside the universe, the only real movies that they have are The Nun, the Annabelles, and technically the Curse of La Llorona, whatever.
La Llorona.
Yeah,
La Llorona. Because she pops up in the Conjuring movies as a spirit that just shows.
But I heard that wasn't good. I'm gonna watch The Nun. I've heard a lot of people say The Nun wasn't good, but then I hear a lot of people say The Nun was good.
The Nun was good. The Nun was good.
Out of the 3 Annabelle movies,
it was just predictable.
I've only seen. I don't always hold stock in critic ratings when it comes to certain movies, but seeing how much I like the Conjuring movies and how the critics reviews tend to be on par of what I feel about it. The critics are like, yeah, out of the 3 Annabelle movies, the second one's the best. The other 2 you could probably do without. So I'll probably sit back and watch all 3 of them, but I'm not expecting anything from the first and the last one.
The first one was kind of like, man, they trying to be funny with this one. And then it has its moments. It has its good moments, but it's like the people that they choose and the dialogue that they choose is like, I don't know if they was trying to take more of a lighter comedy note before hitting the scares, or if they just wanted to try to appeal to a different audience. But the second Annabelle, it was really good because that was the origin story. That was the origin story of Annabelle, and that one was painted to also get you in your feels a bit.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's what they do. They do good. They do the getting your feels a bit, because it's always like when you see these possessed people, you just want to shout evil and let that be that, and like not feel any type of way and be like, oh, they saved them. Whew. But when some mess up stuff happens before all of the, you be like, damn, you don't have to do it like that. That like, sheesh.
I guess a good wrap up. So have you all seen the picture of the guy from the trial of the third movie, like the actual person?
I saw what it
I think I
saw
seen
what
the
they did
picture
in the
flash.
after credits
credits.
Yeah, I was just like, y'all look, even the real life Warrens, it's like, y'all niggas look nothing like the actors.
Look nothing like Patrick Wilson.
But man, that dude was not in good shape.
That dude that was on trial, he looked like he did that shit. I don't know. Like, you know, some people just got the look, like his, like he looked like a Twisted Metal character. Y'all remember that game?
Yeah.
I love Twisted Metal.
He looked like a nigga that drive the Twisted Metal
Sweet
cars
Tooth.
or something, man. Like,
Yeah.
he looked crazy.
It's gonna be like right before he dies, his confession was, I was just on LSD.
Drugs. It was drugs. The whole time.
The drugs understood me back then.
So as a whole, we can do the crown system with the series as a whole.
Man, I'm giving it a 4, just because even though all the movies weren't perfect, like I said, this is probably one of the best horror trilogies you will ever see, and the first 2 are so strong that even though the third one wasn't as great, it's still up there, and it's still a lot better than a lot of other things that we've gotten in the horror genre.
That's true.
Sign me up for a 4.5.
4.5?
4.5. And that's only because, like I said, I have an appreciation for movies and how they craft a movie. I think ever since I went to school for it, that's one of the reasons I watch movies, is to see how they took this thing and put it together. Because now that I know all of the energy that goes behind the scenes of these movies, so they take a lot of time in the small details, in the lighting alone. They spend so much time, and you can see that kind of pan out. And horror movies are not just supposed to tell a physical story, but a visual one as well. And or it's supposed to hit the senses more so than it's about the story. I should say, because the audio plays a big part, and they do really good job keeping you enticed, not just by you watching it, but listening, because they do far off distances really well. They'll do up close distances, and they'll do loud, but it feels like it's right there, or like soft, but it feels like it's like right under you. They play those games, and with the lighting plus the story that they have to tell, everything fits together pretty well.
All right on. He likes the technical mastery aspect of it. That's dope.
Yep.
I will see your 4.5 on a scale of 1 to 4, and I will raise you a crown. I'll give it 5.
Y'all just gonna force me to create extra graphics. All right, but yeah, it's like, so we all kind of agree. This is like the trilogy is the shit.
Yeah.
It's the shit. It doesn't get
I
much
could binge
better.
it straight through.
Not just a horror movie, but it might be one of the better trilogies, period. Honestly.
Oh, yeah.
I think they love me.